Let's do that. And gosh darn it, I need to not say somebody like kick me.
I can poke you.
You can poke me.
She's gonna be poking all over.
I will poke me.
I've got the fingers.
The finger comes out. We're all going to be very
Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We're not holding back, and maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Ladies in Power podcast, everybody. My name is Mika Casey.
Oh, I'm Sandeep Atha.
Dr. Masa Soraya.
Gurvinder Dahl.
And we are Ladies in Power, just like you. Today we are talking about the power of the feminine. And what does feminine mean to you? What does feminine mean to you? What does it mean to you? And you, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Great.
Feminine to me when I was growing up meant looking pretty, having your hair done, casting your eyes down, never to look a guy in the eye because that wasn't the right feminine thing to do. Keeping your voice down, don't laughing loud, too loud. All of that meant feminine. And you had to have the ideal was that some guy which was very masculine, and those days, this is aging myself, you would read Mills and Boon. If you're from England, you know what I'm talking about. If you're from anywhere else, there were these romance books, and on the cover page there was this macho man, Fabio from Italy, did a lot of covers. Jesus, if you don't know who Fabio is, you should go look it up. Anyways, Fabio was always holding this damsel in distress and hair and muscles and biceps. And Fabio is a real man. They just drew him at the cover of all these books that was called Mills and Boon books. And there was always that guy who loves you and will take care of you and never question anything you do, and you'll ride off together in a horse with white mane. Your hair will be in the wind. Like all of us girls that were in boarding school, that's what we thought. That was feminine, that was masculine, and we all wanted that. That was feminine to us.
What a beautiful story. I remember Fabio with the long blonde hair.
Yes.
And then he tried to sing, and that was the death of his career.
Was he a real person or fictional?
Yeah, no, he was real. He was a model.
Yeah.
A lot of women used him, for their books as a stand-up, and they would draw him. And then Buddy thought he could sing, and he tried to do that. Just be seen and not heard, Fabio. You look great to be seen. And so we never heard, wherever you are, buddy, we miss you. We miss you. Come back. We don't care that you aged. And he just looked fabulous. Yeah, Fabio.
Wow. What great visuals you've taken us back to. I love it.
Exactly.
As you were speaking, I recall that too. Like as a young girl, what I thought femininity or being a girl was for me, it was emulating my mom, right? So, and also, things that she would whisper to me about walk very slowly. Like when you're wearing certain clothing, you don't stomp, 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 stomp. And so guided to really, especially in our Indian clothing, like there's a sari and, you really need to walk, I don't know, like in a very feminine way. And so I guess I translated that to soft, slow. You said something about keeping your eyes lowered. There was something that was considered very, what's the word? There was like a charm about it, an innocence around it. So those are some of the things I thought femininity was. And today I'm feeling quite externally feminine because I put this baby on and, it just inspired by my friend here. But it has evolved a lot. So that's just where it started. And I'll pause here because I'm sure we're going to talk about how this concept of femininity has evolved for each of us. But initially, yes, I saw the pretty dresses, the quiet voice, just the grace, the elegance, and it was external. Let's put it that way. It was definitely an external thing.
Yes.
And I think for me, it has evolved far more into an internal. yeah, concept.
I don't think I ever thought about masculine and feminine. I mean, I was a tomboy as a kid. It was safe to be a tomboy because I was bullied. And so as a tomboy, I wasn't bullied. I was safe. And I never thought, what is masculine? What is feminine? It became something that I guess became aware of in the last 10 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I really didn't think about it.
I'm a combination of all you guys. I was also a tomboy when I was in the UK. And I also understand what you two are saying. It's the whole Indian culture. And the thing that I remember is Barbie. I remember I wanted Barbie.
Yes.
And so when I came to Canada, I received Pretty in Pink Barbie, and she was feminine for me. So when I think of femininity, I think about all the cultural aspects, that I was a tomboy, and then I bring in Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie and Ken.
Yeah, Barbie and Ken.
Barbie and
Exactly.
Ken.
That's a really good example of what we thought feminine and masculine should be. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But I mean, your mom would say something like, ladies don't laugh out loud, or real ladies don't have snot on their face, or, whatever it was, right? Or they don't eat like making noises, you eat very quietly. So there are some stuff that in my culture was related with, and that's Persian culture, related to feminism, like the way you dress, the way long hair, ladies were very much encouraged to have long hair. Or the jewelry you wore, or the smile. So it all went together. It was like a package. And like Nika, I didn't really think of energy, feminine and masculine energy, until I went to Tony Robbins. And I'm like, oh, we can both be, we have feminine and masculine in us. What are we forced to go into? But until then, feminine was an image that you kind of aspired to.
Yeah, it's interesting listening to you share about cultural practices because we didn't have any of that in my house.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter if I wasn't taught to sit a certain way or have my legs crossed, or women wear skirts, or don't chew with your mouth open, or I mean, my parents were working so hard, they were not there, and I just didn't have that influence. I think I really had the freedom until I started working. Even I mean, I've had such freedom my entire life to think the way I want to think, dress the way I want to dress, act the way I want to act. Nobody's ever told me you have to do this or you have to do that. Like, there was no box for me, and there still isn't. And I do not fit in a box. So if someone even now is telling me, do this or do that, or women don't do this, or you should be more like that, I'm like, ugh, that's your belief system. It's not mine. It doesn't fit for me.
That's wonderful.
So, and it's interesting because if we look at different cultures, there's different beliefs. So how could there possibly be a right and a wrong? There isn't.
Yeah.
We all have different beliefs. Some believe don't show skin. Some show skin. Some say don't get married until this age. Some say you have to marry a certain person. Like, there are so many different beliefs, and I believe that goes into the feminine and masculine as well. So it's really fascinating to listen to you. Oh, even over the episodes, I'm noticing the different belief systems that we buy into and then we become. and sometimes it doesn't serve us. Maybe we don't question it. And yeah, I'm very excited to talk about this feminine. I have some more to share. I'll pause there.
Yeah.
Well, for us, it was a lot about clothing. Like, we had to keep ourselves covered. I wasn't allowed to wear shorts, and my hair had to be long because my background is Sikhism. And the day after my husband and I got married, my mother-in-law had given me a sleeveless outfit, and I was not allowed to wear a sleeveless prior to that.
Wow.
So I was freaking out. I was saying to my husband, I'm like, this is sleeveless. This is a sleeveless lehenga. And I'm going to my parents' house. I was
Mhm.
completely freaking out. But here I am in sleeveless all the time. So I got over it.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
That's
Embraced my
amazing.
femininity.
So did you wear the dress that day?
I did. I
And
totally
it's
wore
nice
it.
that it came from your mom-in-law, right?
Yes, it did.
Mhm.
I mean, what if it was reversed and your mom-in-law didn't want you to wear the sleeveless and you were sleeveless all the time at home?
Yeah.
That would be worse.
That would be worse.
Yeah.
So my mother-in-law is into wearing sleeveless, and she's more progressive with what the kids were allowed to wear. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm allowed to wear this?
That's amazing.
Where I wasn't like the day before. And now
I mean, wow. The Japanese culture, I once read, tied the women's legs,
Mhm.
their feet, so it wouldn't grow. And that was the sign of femininity. So actually, the women could never walk because since a very, very young age, their feet were taped so tightly that their feet stayed like a size 2 or 3 for rest of their lives. And it was feminine for their husbands to carry them everywhere. So you were royalty if you couldn't walk.
Goodness.
Now, I'm sure I read this. Now, if I imagined it while I was smoking some kind of pot, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure I read that. And it was nobility and royalty to be carried around. Now, that would
Wow.
suck.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can get
Would it
over.
though, really? If you were carried around everywhere?
Yes, I don't want to be carried around. I want to be on my own 2 legs.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there are even extremes in other cultures of what they consider feminine, or the long neck ladies.
Oh,
that
yeah,
put
in
a
Africa.
ring.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, the longer the ring, the more feminine you are. So you're right. It's all depending on where you're raised
Yep.
and how you're raised. And we believe those
Mhm.
because we were told it by our moms or our aunts or whatever.
And then as women, we judge other women who don't have our beliefs. How silly is that?
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it's
true.
ridiculous. It's just you were raised a certain way
Mhm.
to have a certain belief, and you live that way. And if people don't live your way, you judge them. Not you. I mean, I do it too. We all do it. I'm
all do
working
it.
really hard on not doing it anymore since I become aware of it.
Yeah.
That's what makes the world go round. That's what
It
we're
does.
all so unique. So,
Yeah.
and that leads to the curiosity culture that I'm so passionate about. This cancel culture that is going around and has for a long time. We've just given it a name.
Yes.
If we replace the cancel culture with curiosity culture,
Yeah.
Oh,
that
Love
is
it.
just so
Love it.
powerful to ask questions. Like, get curious about people. Where did that belief come from? When did you start believing that? What for what would be right or wrong for you? And let's explore why. And maybe that conversation of getting curious could bond you and take your relationship to another level when you start to recognize, oh my gosh, that's all I've ever known. It's not really my belief, is it? Like, just get curious about it.
Yeah, what do I think? And I really feel for young people, and especially women these days. And I've said it before, so many times me and my husband will go out and we look around, and there are all these beautiful women sitting around with makeup, looking amazing, 10s, 8s, 7s, not a single man around. And they're all complaining
Did you
about
just say
how
10, 8, 7?
20, whatever.
What is 10, 8, 7?
The number of women. They could be 10 women.
I thought you meant like a 7 out of 10.
No.
Good thing you had the curiosity to
These
ask.
women are 10 out of 10, but it's like 7 of them together, 8 of
Yeah.
them together,
Yeah.
20 of them together, not a single man in sight. And I'm like, guys, and I literally will go up to these women and I go, why is there not a single man here? You guys are gorgeous. You're amazing. You should be adored. And they're like, well, guys don't like us, or, we can't find a man. And there are men sitting right next door listening to this, feeling not adequate,
Yes.
not up to
Yes.
power, not being accepted.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering, where is this disconnect? So I go to the boys and go, oh, you guys are real hotties, and they just flourish and they smile and they go, you want to join us? And I'm like, almost 60 for frick's sakes. And I'm like, sure, I'll join you. And
Love
now
it.
we're having the best time here. I think the women really should consider this whole femininity. What do they want? What do they bring to the table? And maybe guide the guys to be what they want them to be and not put them down. And I never used to think like that until now when my son is dating. And I'm like, if you want a good man with a good heart, then make that the priority. He doesn't also have to be rich and funny and make a six-figure like the song says. What is it? You
Beyonce?
gotta
Put a
Yeah.
ring on it.
no, not
Where's
that
that?
song. He has to be 6 feet, finance.
Oh, yeah, there is
Oh,
something.
Yeah, there's this thing,
yeah.
finance,
Yeah.
6 feet.
Yeah.
Drives this car, and that you can't have that right off the bat. He either is sensitive and he'll sit down and hold you when you cry, or he's out there beating every other alpha male guy. He can't be both. Like, let's understand that, women. He's either washing your dishes or he's out there, earning the $1,000 a minute job. Like, you just got to understand we can't be everything at the same time.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, well said.
And I got that from my son. It was his thoughts. I didn't come up with it. It's like they want us to be this, that, and the other, and we can only be like, he's very sensitive. If you say something, he'll sit down, he'll listen for hours. And then there are the girls who are saying, well, then, where's the Ferrari? Where is the Jaguar? Where is the car? And you got to be an alpha male. And I'm not saying he isn't. It's just confusing. What is it women want?
Women don't know what women want, so how the heck are men going to figure it out? That's what I share with my husband often. He wants to understand what I'm thinking or what, and I say, babe, I don't even know what I'm thinking half the time, so please don't feel like you have to. And that is, for me, a feminine energy. And I learned that from Tony Robbins and Sage Robbins at a beautiful event where they were both present and they were talking for 6 days and nights about relationship and intimacy and masculine and feminine. And I'd like to share some of the key takeaways with you and with our audience, because it's profoundly changed my life in the last 4 years. What I've learned is the feminine energy is, and this is what I heard. Sometimes it's different what we hear and what is said. The feminine energy is very flowing and it's free and it goes from here to here and it's creative and it's messy. And it's gloriously messy. It's magically messy. The mess is the message of femininity. The masculine energy is very driven and very focused and gets things done. So the analogy that I heard was the men, when they're out hunting to feed the family, the hunter has one target. If they have multiple targets, nothing gets taken and the family dies. So the masculine energy is out there. They're quiet. They're not saying anything. They're focused. They kill the hunt. They bring it back to the family. They are adored, appreciated, loved. The family is open to them and just they're, oh, you're my hero. You fed the family. So the masculine is focused, coming back, wants to be adored. They don't want to be criticized or coached. They don't want their partners to be closed. They want them to stay open. And they don't want to be controlled. They want to take the lead. They want to be in control. The flip side of that is if you are in a relationship with a masculine and a masculine. So today's woman has been trained to be in the masculine, to get shit done, to take control, to this, that, and the other thing. So it can leave the masculine, the male, in most cases, feeling like they don't have a role. And what will they do then? They'll do one of two things. They'll go out somewhere where they feel appreciated, loved, and they get stuff to do, or they will shift into their feminine to avoid conflict. And this is what happened in my relationships for years. I never felt safe because for women, the feminine, and I want to replace women with feminine, the feminine wants to feel safe. They want to feel seen, and they want to be understood. So if a woman is feeling safe, seen, and understood, and the man is feeling like the hero, and they're feeling in control, and they're feeling like their partner is open, you have masculine feminine harmony. It's when the woman doesn't feel safe because of childhood trauma, or they don't see their partner as providing and keeping them safe and taking control, being the leader, being focused, seeing her, hearing her, understanding her, keeping her safe. When any of those things aren't happening, the relationship, you end up in complete chaos. You can have the role reversal. And those things just, and I hope that I explained that effectively.
Beautifully. I think you did such an excellent job explaining a really
I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah, I think we all probably will need to process that, but beautifully explained. Thank you so much. And even for me, some of that resonates in my own relationship. And I can definitely, I'm only learning about this feminine masculine very recently, like maybe in the last year and a half. And I think it was a bit of a surprise when someone actually explained to me that I'm carrying masculine energy. I didn't even understand what she meant. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? And it was about me trying to fix away my emotions. So instead of learning to feel them, I would say, oh, I'm feeling sad. Okay, well, I'll just, like a little prescription to self. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And by tomorrow, I should be all good. No problem. But it's a very masculine way to think. And I did not understand that.
I do the same, right? So, that's why
I know it's relatable. Like, I think I'm not the only one, but so I would just sort of fix away my emotions, and I didn't realize this. And she said, it's okay to feel them. Like, it's okay to feel. And I almost looked at her with like, question mark, question mark, question mark. Feel what? Like, what? And immediately, I feel like within a few minutes, I had tears coming down. And I was like, wait, am I feeling? Like, what is this? And I swear to you, in that year and a half, I've cried more than I've ever cried. I've leaned into emotions, and I've had a lot in the past year and a bit. And it's, oh my gosh, like even just learning that it's okay to just sit and feel, and what that opened up for me in my feminine, and how, I can see the shift between the masculine and feminine. We all have both within us. And I can see now that my feminine, she's coming out, and she's kind of like, hello, remember me? And so she's coming out, she's playful, she's understanding that, whoa, I have a whole bunch of strengths. And they're not related to control, and they're not related to fixing, and they're not related to being responsible for everything. It is shifting away from that and saying, what are my strengths as a feminine? And what I've really tapped into is intuition. So the intuition, once you're tapping into your feelings, leaning into emotions, sitting with them, and not even caring if it takes a week to move through your sadness.
Or what anybody else thinks.
Or what anybody else thinks. But you're just taking that precious, sacred time to just sit with the sadness, the anger, the grief, the resentment, whatever it is, but just sit with it. And don't have in your mind a timeline of when this should all be resolved. And just learning to do that, I kid you not, in the last year and a half is just opened up. Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah.
It is worthy of a little applause. It's huge for me. It's been huge. And I do get caught sometimes in my masculine again. And so, you get better and better at recognizing when it's showing up. And that's what, friends around you will help you. They're your mirrors. So when you are in that mode and somebody's kind of like, what is going on with you right now? You step back and you go, what is going on? Oh, right. I'm in that masculine again.
Mhm.
So what is that about? Is it fear-based? Is it worry of this not leading to this and this not being this way? So it's just a beautiful, like you said, curiosity, introspection, a reminder that I have both. And I am learning that I do so much better when I'm able to just feel. And you'll hear, my family's been hearing it all the time. Like, what's going on? We go, I'm just feeling my emotions. I'm just sad today, but I'm going to let myself be sad. And people are like, how are you feeling today? And it's not like, oh, I'm great. I'm like, well, right now, I'm a little pissed. I'm a little mad right now about something. Or, oh, I'm really sad today. And it feels so good to just
Mhm.
be okay with that and allow myself that. And as that's growing, so many good things coming in. Intuition, creativity, heart-centered life is really just coming more and more and more. So yeah, I'm a newbie to understanding this concept of masculine, feminine, and that it's in us both. Yeah. So
How
Hey.
gorgeous. How gorgeous wow. Thank you for that share. That was gorgeous.
Guys, I have a question when all of this came up. I mean, I understand totally what Tony Robbins is saying, Mika, and honestly, you explained it beautifully. But for me, it's chicken and the egg. Like, are you picking a man because you're masculine and they're feminine and you get along? Do you ever switch from feminine to masculine because you figure your partner just can't handle something? Like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example because you're not in my head. So, all our vacations, I plan them.
Okay.
I plan where to go. I plan the tickets. I plan the resort. I plan where we eat. I plan everything. And it's because if I don't plan it, it doesn't get done. Okay. So, yes, I go into that masculine energy. I'm
That's
like,
feminine.
is it though?
I believe it's feminine because the
Okay.
masculine is one task,
Okay.
one target.
Okay.
When you're planning a holiday, there are so many moving parts.
Yes.
The masculine is like,
Mhm.
Okay, fine.
I wouldn't have thought that.
I wouldn't have
That's
thought that.
super enlightening.
Okay.
I wouldn't have known
that's
that.
my
Okay,
belief.
fine.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because to me it's like, why do I always have to arrange everything? You know, why do I have
Because
to?
you're able to.
But the blessing is he never complains. I mean, it could be the best resort or it could be the worst resort, and he never complains. It could be the best meal or the worst meal. He never complains. Whereas I do understand if he planned it and God forbid the shower didn't work, I would be bitching and complaining
Yeah.
for like ever. And who wants that? It's like the 4 C's that Mika just talked about, you know, criticizing, complaining, being closed. I forget. Controlling. All of those. It's me. You know,
We all
why
have
doesn't-
that.
We do all
We
have
all
that.
have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, okay. If that's a feminine energy, that kind of resolves
That makes
something
sense.
there. Yeah.
I would love to share my scenario in my relationship. That, and I know so many women are going to resonate with this. I already know it because we as women are feeling our emotions, and they don't always make sense. Like you said, they don't make sense to us. How's anyone else? And bless my husband, who, you know, is on the receiving end of all this emotional wah! And bless his soul, because he's just like, well, why don't you do this? And I'm like, how dare you? How dare you tell me to do this? Like, it makes perfect sense, but I'm not ready for that. There's a beautiful something on social media where the woman has, I think, is it like a hammer in her head? And she's like, I have this headache.
Oh yeah.
I have this headache, a knife in her head. And he's like, okay, should you take the knife out of your head? No, it's not that. It's like, it's just this headache won't go away. It's just, so I feel like, you know, and that's his masculine wanting to just say,
Fix it.
fix it.
Solve it.
Yeah. So what
Wants to be the hero.
He wants to be the hero. Of course he does. I know. So I wasn't helping him because I was just, and not really giving him the direction on what I needed. And so, bless my heart too, I have learned to sort of say, I'm going to just dump right now. And right now, I would love it if you could just hold the
Listen.
space for me,
Yes.
right? Like all this
Yes.
beautiful terminology that's coming out. So hold the space. And he's like, what, hold the space? Like, what do you, like, hold the space? And I'm like, he does. And I said, hold space means you don't need to fix it. Like, don't even go into fixing mode. Just you being you. I know you care and I know you love me. So just be you and just sit in silence and don't even let your brain go to, how do I make this better? How do I make this better? How do I make her feel, back to her happy, calm self? Don't even go there. Just hold the space means just sit and just maybe nod at me and just lie if you have to and say, that sounds horrible. Like that's knife in your head. Like, how dare it be in your head? Like, who, that's terrible. And I'm like, believe it or not. And I tell him a solution. Like, I'm like, here, I'm handing this to you. Like, the next time
Let me be my own hero and you can be involved.
But, sometimes you just can't do it on your own. So I'll just say, here, next time I do this, I'm going to tell you what I need. If you can just do. And sure enough, as he's like nodding and just being super empathetic, I'm like, thank you. I feel so much better. Hug, hug, hug. And he's like, wow, this is way easier than like rattling my brain for the solution.
You felt seen, heard, understood.
Yes, and yes. So all of that. And now he is my hero. So he's getting this loving wife that's just like, you're the best. I love you. You understand me. And he's just like, is that all it took? But he gets it. And he, bless his heart, that he just continues to kind of practice that. And he's so good. And now even he'll be like, so I'm not sure what you're needing here. Are you just wanting me to listen? Do you want me to, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. What do I need? Let me think. Okay. And we're just getting better. But it was the first, you had to have the realization that this dynamic.
Yes.
And they're lost, bless them. Like they're lost.
Yeah.
We don't give them a lot of direction. And we just expect that they read our minds and just know. But that's not fair.
No, that's true.
You're right.
Yeah,
Nobody can reach.
And when they don't, we get closed
Yeah.
and we criticize.
Yeah.
And then we want to control the situation. And they're like,
Yes.
well, where's my role in this?
That's
You're
right.
taking all my roles. I want to be the hero.
Yeah.
I want to be the one. And we must keep that perspective. We must remind ourselves or we will chase them away. How beautiful for your husband and you to have that awareness. And I mean, the communication that you had with him to be able to share with him what it is you needed and for him to be so flexible. And they call it duck and dodge in the book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Duck and dodge.
Yeah.
So, because they always want to fix.
Right.
That's the man. They want to fix. They want to focus and fix. And the book says, just for the guy, just duck and dodge. Like, just don't fix. Just duck and dodge. What she's saying, it's not personal. It's not about you.
Yeah.
So
I love that image.
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
Men
That makes
are
sense. Pass it on.
Duck and duck.
Duck and dodge.
and the men go
Makes
into their
sense.
caves. The men go into their man caves when they had enough criticism.
Yes.
When they are attempting to go into you and you are closing, and they want to get creative and you are closed, they will go into their cave. And that's our fault.
Yeah.
That's our fault.
I can't remember the name of the book. Oh, Love Languages. That's what I'm thinking about.
yes.
Has been so helpful.
The 5 love languages.
And I'm like, I did not realize that I love human touch so much. So I just walk up to him and I'm like,
come on, Melissa, give her a touch. Give her a-
unless it's your least favorite. Don't touch me.
I didn't know that.
And so I'll just walk up to him and I won't say a word and I'll just stick my hands up in the air like my kids used to. And I'm like, hug. I just go, oh, yeah. So I'll just walk up to him, like right up against him.
So he has no choice but to
like
give
I
you a
will push
squeeze.
myself against him, raise my hands up, and I'm like, yeah, I just need to be right here, right now.
And he gets to be the hero.
Yeah.
And you're opening to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually lovely. I'm going to try that
Yeah.
tonight
Yeah.
when he's
do it
in
all-
his man cave.
There's an adjustment period. If the man, and we'll come back if the man doesn't feel safe because he's in the feminine, if he's in the feminine, not that your husband is, if he's in the feminine and he's not feeling safe for his masculine to come out because there's no room for it, then we must be willing to when a decision needs to be made and it's not being made, to sit back and create the space for them to make, because they're afraid to make this decision because they're going to get criticized based on the past. So we must, since we now have the awareness, it's on us to create that space and lift them up until they feel safe to start taking control again.
Right.
Yeah.
But so much of what you just described, I feel, has so many elements of this feminine, masculine harmony. First of all, you're going to him knowing clearly what it is you're asking for. There's no cloudiness in that, which is okay. Cloudiness is okay. But you kind of go to him knowing that this would make me feel really, really great. And he's able to look at you and say, oh, I can do something here for my feminine, for my wife. And he's able to respond. But you're able to receive that. And probably, I'm guessing, you appreciate it.
Oh,
and
love
he
it.
feels the appreciation. So like, what a win-win harmony for both, right? So I think there's so many beautiful elements that we can identify and utilize.
And I wasn't always like this, but over the last number of years, I'm like, I think I know what I want. And I'm like, and he's the one who's going to give it to me. So I'm like, and this is what I need.
Yeah.
So that's it. Your love language is to be touched and hugged.
Well, especially by him. I'm like,
because we can do it, girl. Every time we can squeeze you all you want.
I think when the kids were younger, when the four were younger, and
Don't touch me.
they were just like all over me. I think I wanted space after that. Like, nursing and holding and I mean, I loved it. I loved it. But now I want a different type. Yeah.
What else does being feminine mean to us? Like, what are other embodiments of feminine?
I think nurturing, especially towards our kids. And interestingly enough, you're talking about your husband and you just want to talk and you just want him to listen. Every time my kids come to me with a problem, I'm immediately into that solution. I go immediately into that masculine. And so many times it's like, Mom, we're not looking for you to come up with an answer. We just want you to listen. I mean, it could be something simple like my kid called me yesterday and he goes, Mom, my room is really cold. And I'm like, well, we can have a duvet or we can have a heater. It can be an indoor heater or an outdoor heater. There's a big one or a small one. You can get it from Walmart. And it just spewed out. And all the kid said was, Mom, I'm thinking I'm going to go get a hot water bottle. My room is cold. My brain just can't handle it. It can't handle them being in discomfort. It can't handle them needing something. And it could be sharing something about their boyfriends, their girlfriends, their whatever. And I have to train myself. And now I don't know who taught me this. And I'll say, do you want the listening, Mom? Do you want the action, Mom?
Exactly.
Like, what do you want? And I'll give it to you. Like, do you want me to talk or do you want me to just listen? Because my to-go-to would be always to look for that solution. I would be like, Dr. Sand, trying to fix it, get that knife out of your head.
No, get me to get the knife out of my head.
I would go for it. Even with my girlfriends, if you came to me and said you're sad, I can't just sit and listen. What about if we do this? What about we just kick the shit out of this? Like, it will go on until you decide on a solution with me. Yeah.
What would it look like if you did listen?
I don't know. I've never tried it, but I certainly will. Because I never thought you just wanted me to zip it and listen.
And I want to be clear to everyone here and out there that it doesn't make you wrong. Nothing is wrong. There's no judgment. There's no shame. There's no, oh my gosh, I feel so guilty. I pushed my ex-husband away or this, that, or whatever story you might be coming up with right now. Be gentle with yourself. This isn't something we learn in school. And it's the school of hard knocks, and it's the price that we pay sometimes to go through the experiences, which is why I'm so big into personal development. Learn from people who have made those mistakes for you. I thank my mom all the time for having a couple of divorces because I learned from her what doesn't work and what does. And I say that, Mom, with complete love and respect because I've seen I've seen, and my mom is so incredibly feminine. She's so feminine. My mom is just so feminine, and not in the skirt wearing, lipstick wearing kind of way. She's so creative, and she's intelligent, and she's wise, and she listens great, and she loves everyone, and she emotes, she feels. And she's not a problem solver. She's just like that. Oh, what a piece of work. Oh, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened. Like anytime I need to vent, my mom is the number one person I call because she will just listen and not fix.
Oh,
And I
good.
love you, Mom.
Oh, I read something about oh, now I forget the actor's name. There is a Kenneth Branagan's wife. What's her name?
Who's Kenneth Branagh?
Oh, it's okay. So there are two British actors that I'm in love with. Anyways, their names don't matter. But she was going through a divorce, and her best friend, which is another actor, came to the house with a bottle of wine, said nothing. They just drank, and he just listened. And she was sharing that was the best thing. That's the best friend. That's what you want your best friend to be okay, to be in silence with you. They just drank the wine, and they were okay with sitting with each other with silence. And I go, wow, that's a lot easier than coming up with solutions,
You know what? It really is. It really is. When I was going through coaching certification, I learned so much about active listening, and I remember for myself as a reflection, I listened to myself speaking, with somebody, and what came to me was pause. It's okay to pause. And even at work, the work that I did, I had a sticky note that said pause. And after I finished the course and my kids, would come to me and say, Mama, I want to tell you something, but can you do that, like the coaching thing that you do? And I was like, what does she mean? Or what does he mean? And as in just sit and just listen and don't tell me how to fix it. Just maybe you just say, oh, that's really horrible. Like, just really be there in that presence. And I mean, luckily for me, they were able to guide me through that. That's what they needed. Yeah. And the more I did it, I think the safer they felt that I wasn't going to come off with all these solutions, because we have the solutions in our mind, but sometimes they just need the space to just feel. And when you're not a good feeler yourself, we may not be able to be that guide for our kids. So I thank them, and I always say they're my best teachers because they will teach me different ways of being, and they'll pull it out of me, or they'll stretch me to become something a better version of myself, because I'm not meeting their needs in the way that they might do better with. So I remember that. Can you do the coaching thing, that the way you listen when you coach? So it's really stuck with me. And I've really learned, it is hard because the solutions, the solutions are hard, but it's harder.
It's harder,
but
to
it's
be
so
quiet.
powerful to sit with someone who is crying and not be tempted to take away their and it's interesting because the more silence you can sit in with someone, not always, of course, this is not a blanket recommendation, but the more silence we can provide, or that partnering comfort, it is amazing to me what people can do in that moment.
Oh my gosh.
And and I'm always tempted to fill the gaps. So that's my work, is don't always feel tempted to fill the silence. Let it be. Because there's a lot of processing and thinking and reflecting, and somebody may need 5 whole minutes before they're even going to utter the next word. Yeah. But
My
if we,
children, I'm sorry.
No, and to mine, I'm sorry.
I love you people, and I'm just trying to zip it from now on, because Sandy is
I'm the same way. No,
it's true, and it's just you forget it. You forget that.
It's very, very powerful. But we're all human. We're all doing our best. We're not perfect, and we learn from each other. We learn from our children or our friends or our circle, and it's really, really powerful to take what they say to us and think about it.
Now, I want to say something that I truly believe regarding feminine and masculine. Some things are within us, in our genes, and you can't wish it away. A man will look at a woman with a big chest and will immediately feel attracted because that means food for his children.
That's right.
A man would look at a woman with a small waist and get immediately attracted because that means you're not pregnant and you're not carrying somebody else's child.
That's right.
Doesn't matter how much the guys wish it away. Please, women, don't be offended if a guy says, hey, you're beautiful or your figure is beautiful. Embrace it. For heaven's sakes, they're just paying you a compliment. Shiny hair, white teeth, good skin. It's in the man's gene. Ask any man. You have falling, balding hair that's dull. Nobody's going to be attracted to that. It's just in their genes. For women, I look at Hugh Jackman and I salivate, okay? I'm sorry. It's just that we feel protected. We feel if you're 6'2" and you've got biceps like that, our children are going to be protected.
That's right.
We salivate. It's like the Pavlovian dog. Can't help it. So yes, we may choose a petite man that's slender or whatever, but that doesn't mean we don't appreciate the big guys. Fabio is on forever.
Fabio.
Comes back to Fabio. Some things are in our genes, and for men, they do like to provide.
Yes.
You know, one day my son said to me, you know, Mom, if I have a choice between picking a career woman or picking a woman who wants to stay home and cook and look after my children, I'll pick the woman who wants to stay at home and look after my children. And I was actually blown away because I was a working mom. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, I just want her to welcome me. I mean, I hope it's okay that I share this, but okay, it's out of the bag now. So hopefully he'll never listen to this podcast. But he says, yeah, I just want to come home and feel adored and taken care of. And I just want her to make my meals. She doesn't have to go out there and make the money. I want to do that.
This is the masculine feminine. The masculine wants to provide.
Yeah.
And they want to be adored. They want the hero. So they go and they provide. They go and they hunt.
So let's
And they come home and we
Yes.
cook for them. And we celebrate them. Like, that's so simple. We've just got it all
messed up.
We
And
do.
you know, it's okay for men to like cooking more than women, but maybe we should do it together or not downplay the fact that
Yes.
they like to
Oh my
cook.
gosh,
Right?
yes, let's
You
not-
like to
yes.
cook. I worship that. You're still
You're
providing.
still providing.
Yeah.
You're still the hero.
Still
Yes.
providing.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
still the hero. And you know, that and something that I just saw it just came on my Facebook feed. This lady got up and said she hadn't been dating in years, and that in one of the dating apps it said when a lady goes out with a guy, she should pay for half of the bill. And should she or shouldn't she? And she's been going on these dates and she's been paying half, and half the time the men say, no, it's okay, you don't have to pay, I got this. But in the other half, men say, well, yeah, you should, and you know, why don't you pay the full thing while you're at it? So she was asking this show host, this American gentleman, it's an American show, whether she should pay the half. She was confused. She was an older lady. She said she didn't want to tell her age, but obviously, you know, past her 50s. And she was like, should I, shouldn't I? In my day, the men always paid. And he kind of took a pause and said, look, us as men know what we're getting into when we ask you out. We see something and we know we have to pay for it. We come to you, ask you for dinner, knowing fully that we are responsible for that dinner. So don't offer to pay, because if he can't afford for first plate of food, lady, he can't afford to keep you or your children or your grandchildren or protect you and look after you in any way. So that was his advice. And the audience were older, and I was like, yeah, it was so much simpler when I was dating. If somebody asked me out, it was a given. He's paying. Because you know what? But no, I'm not putting on this makeup, doing my hair, spending $200
Yes,
to go out with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you can't play, and then we had these neighbors, and Bud and Trudy, I love you. I'm going to tell your story the way you said it. So Bud is a successful businessman and multi-million-dollar businesses, but he wasn't always like that. So he falls in love with Trudy, which is still hot to this day. She's a hot mama. So he invites her out to a nice restaurant, but he doesn't have enough money to pay for both. So he pretends he's already eaten and he's full and lets her choose whatever she wants for their first date. Now, they've been married 56 years plus. And it was just the gentle, manly thing to do. And, you know, I think we should really go back to our roots, to our genes, understand each other, and be respectful. If a guy asks you out or pays you a nice compliment, I'm not talking about groping you. If a guy comes to you and says, hey, you look beautiful, just say thank you.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't have to be like, ew, or get away from me. Like, why do that? Would you like it if I go up to men all the time and I go, okay, let me tell you, you're hot. or let me tell you, I love your suit. Or and I have never had a man say to me, ew. They always like, really, you mean it? You know, you like the suit, you think it looks good on me or my hair, or, you know, I'm in love with your eyes. You know, it's like sometimes they have green eyes. And I don't make it icky, but I give them a compliment. And I give it to my girlfriends too.
Yes.
Yeah.
My point is, we're all human. We all like to be told. And this is the last thing I'm saying because I know I'm rambling.
It's wonderful.
It is
Yeah.
wonderful.
My
Beautiful.
son found a huge difference when he went to Mexico with his buddies for a holiday. He goes, Mom, the Latino girls were coming up to us all the time saying, nosotros, ustedes son muy guapo. You guys are so handsome, you know, vámonos a bailar, let's go dancing. It wasn't that, let's play games. It was,
Yeah.
hey guys,
Yeah.
you are amazing. Let's go. Let's go have fun. Let's go dancing. And the two boys that went together didn't want to come back because for the first time they felt loved, appreciated, looked up to. You know, the girls were petite. They were like hugging up to them.
Open. They were open.
Open.
They were not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think our girls are confused and they've been drinking this Kool-Aid of feminism.
Yes.
It means being on your own. You
I
keep
can open my own door.
okay,
I can pay for my
I can
own
buy
food.
my own flowers. I can write my name on a sand. Like, bitch, we all can. You know, but that's not
Doesn't mean we have to. That's right. Oh my God. Some love, girl.
I just,
Yes.
I love that
Yeah.
song. Miley, I love it.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not the point. I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but
Yeah.
Get over it.
get over it.
Yeah.
Open up
Yeah.
and be loving to whoever wants to be part of your life. And I think that's where the disconnect is. I can make my own money. Yes, you can. You can buy your own flowers, your own shoes, your own diamonds. And maybe what you can afford to buy yourself is way more than what he can. But at the end of the day, we got to make him feel
hero.
loved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm just so
Love it.
grateful for that. What a beautiful share.
And I think I would have never thought that way had I not had a son. You know, I would have totally been from the woman's point of view. But I get it. I get that, and I feel bad for the guys too. I feel bad for my own husband sometimes because I do criticize and close and all of that. And then gotta remember, that's why he's in his man cave downstairs. Yeah.
It's a journey.
It's a journey for sure. We're all learning.
Yeah.
And you mentioned intuition, and you touched on it because not everyone, a lot of people today are looking outside for what to do. Do I pay my own bill? Do I stand at the door and wait for him to open it? Like my grandfather taught me, am I old school? Release the judgment and get back to your intuition, your feminine given
intuition and ask yourself, what do I really want? Do I want to be the woman? Do I want to be rescued? Do I want to make the man feel the hero? Do I want him to pay for me? Is that okay? Get curious again. Get curious with that conversation and tune out, drown out the blah, 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 the people that are wanting to create business industries around your challenges and teaching you to listen to them instead of listening to yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That's so true. We've forgotten how to even listen to our hearts.
And we women have heart. We have, that's the power that we bring.
Yeah.
That is the feminine goddess. That is the woman in power. The power to allow others to be in their power. The power to come from love. The power to be listening to ourselves, the power to say no, to say yes, to make our own decisions, to not worry about the judgment, to just be our best selves. That's where the power is in the feminine.
It truly is. And to address what you were just saying, when we're calm and when we really tune into ourselves, that's exactly what we want. It's our God-given gift as females to want that,
to be held,
to be held. We like nurturing.
That's so true.
We like to take care, and we like to be taken care of.
Yeah.
You know,
That's very true.
and when we're in that quiet part of ourselves, without being bombarded by society and wherever we are today,
Rules.
yes, way too many rules. And I don't want those rules for my girls. I want my girls to truly listen to themselves, you know, and be themselves, embrace their feminine side. And they've actually taught me to embrace my feminine side even more. I never wore heels. I barely did makeup. I didn't want to do my nails. And with every child I had,
You got more feminine.
I got more feminine. I started wearing heels after my second one was born. I started doing makeup after she was born. Mind you, I had 2 under the age of 1, so really fast. But I'm like, as I was dressing them, I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun.
You have your own Barbies.
I truly did.
Love that.
And the best part about watching what they wanted, they gravitated towards Barbie, and they gravitated towards dress up. We would buy them Lego, and they wanted the Lego that was pink, but they created these beautiful pieces with the Lego, and we bought them the train track, and they created something super cool. Like, I wanted them to embrace whatever they were. But it was really interesting to me that the girls wanted to play dress up and do this and bake, and I'm like, oh wow, it's innate. You know?
It's innate.
Yes.
It's innate.
Yeah.
They know. And I didn't have any sons, but my nephews are my young nephew is all about cars and trains. It's innate.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you share some of that. What I'm hearing is you attach to feminine heels and makeup,
Yes.
and so getting back to the original question of what is feminine for us, you shared so elegantly and so freely how you define feminine in some ways. It's beautiful. And for those that don't know, she has 4 daughters. That's why she has a lot of feminine at home. That's why
I do.
Yeah.
Totally do. And I think I really, really started noticing it when we started attending weddings or big events. The kids would be so excited. They're like, what am I going to wear? How do I get to do my hair? What shoes am I going to wear? And so the kids started getting really excited. I'm like, this is fun. This is fun. It's so fun. And now I'm like, yes. So when we have an event or something to attend, all the girls get dressed up, and it's so fun. I'm like, they're in their feminine. I truly love it. They love it. And they've shown me, they're like, you can do nails and patches and this and that. And
Different design.
Yes, exactly.
You know, Mika, you said something that really really was important. And that is the media and advertisement is selling us what the modern women should be. And a lot of young ladies are buying it, and then they're wondering why they're in their 30s and
depressed
40s.
and sad.
They're depressed, they're sad, and there's no men in their life.
Conflicted.
Yeah.
You know, you do need men, ladies. I'm sorry, you do. And yes, it's okay to have girlfriends, but Sandeep and I, we were talking about traveling just before we started the podcast, and we both agreed our favorite travel partners are our spouses. Like, I love traveling with Alex because he's so easy. I don't have to wear makeup for him. I don't have to, whatever I feed him, he eats. And we've traveled together for 35 years. I mean, I do need him around, and sometimes more so than even girlfriends.
Yes.
But now what women are being told is that we don't need anyone. We just need each other. We don't need male energy. We don't need anyone looking after us. We don't. But you do. And all the advertisement. The other day, this woman that's obviously, you know, very corporate comes and throws her key, her Fiat or whatever she was driving at this gorgeous guy and says, "Park it." Like, first of all, that's rude, lady, you know? And then a second later, he's sitting in the car dreaming about a vacation he's having. And she says, "Are you finally going to park the car, or are you going to dream about it all day?" Like, that is just all rude.
So
And
brutal.
till a moment before, when Mika said that, I've watched that ad like 20 times. I think it's on Amazon as you're watching Amazon Free. And I never thought anything about it. But now I thought,
Messaging.
what are all those messages? She's the corporate. She's the money. She has the power. She's treating this hunk of manhood. Hey, if he was in my car, I would be sitting right next to him, dreaming, asking, "What are you dreaming? Like, can we share a champagne together?" I wouldn't be dangling my key, which indicates I'm above you, and then asking him that he's obviously a dreamer if he's still dreaming or gonna go to the task. Like,
It's subliminal, and
it
so
really is.
subliminal.
Yeah.
The big Barbie and Ken ads, the huge, like they were billboards all over the bus shelters. She's Barbie, he's just Ken.
Yes,
That was the
movie.
tagline.
Yeah.
She's Barbie,
Barbie.
all fabulous, and he's in the
Just
car,
Ken.
and he's just Ken. And I was in London when I saw that, and I was like, I'm with my girlfriend. That is so wrong.
It's
That's
offensive. It
Yeah.
was offensive
Yeah.
to us.
everywhere. You'll start seeing it now.
Yeah.
You'll start seeing it. It's everywhere.
Now
Don't
buy
buy
it.
into it.
Don't
Yeah.
buy it. And in the movie, all he had to do was be stupid,
That's right.
have the abs,
That's
and
right.
be put down. But all the other Barbie,
just-
it is
and it was a
bad.
huge
It was
success.
bad, and it was a huge success.
Huge success. So maybe it's the divorce lawyers that are pushing this agenda. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it is.
You know, or there's the
Maybe it
conspiracy
is.
theorists that were looking to control population. I mean, there's so many angles. How big do you want to go? There's definitely messaging out there around this. You look at razors, it's the same blade. And if it's got a pink packaging, it's 20% more. It's the same with every skincare line, every soap. It's the same thing, different packaging, 20% more. There's so many things that we are being sold. And we must get back into our feminine
Yes.
and listen to our intuition.
Yeah.
100%.
My shortcut has become really, I describe my journey this past year and a half as head to heart. Really, whenever I'm kind of stuck, I'm like, is my head working right now, the masculine, or is it, am I in my heart? And usually when I'm in my heart, it just, everything aligns. There's really no, it just feels so much better, more truthful to who I am.
Yeah.
It's not that easy for some people to
No,
get
it
into
wouldn't
their
be.
heart.
No.
They say it's the longest 18 inches in the globe.
Right.
And you can use the acronym: if you're in your heart, you're smart. You're in your head, you're dead. And one of the things that I've learned again from Tony Robbins is to place both hands on your heart and to feel your heartbeat and recognize that you're alive and that it beats for free 100,000 times a day. given to you at birth for free. Be grateful for it. And if you can be in your heart and feel your heart and think of your heart and imagine breathing through your heart for 90 seconds, even 60 seconds for some, 30 seconds for others, but 90 seconds for some who've never done this, you will be in your heart. And that's how big decisions can sometimes be made, is to really ground yourself and get into that heart. Such a beautiful point you've raised.
And you too, that it's not always an easy task to understand, what does that even mean? What does she mean when she's saying she went from her head to her heart? Yeah, it's feel it first. And we don't even have to think about it, right? It's always beating. It's always beating and we're feeling. Yeah, and that's everything. That's the magic. For me, like if I was going to write a 2-second dialogue, it would be head to heart. And you know, for me, that's everything. So that's my cheat sheet on on my journey. But there's so much more packed within that, obviously. At the end of the day, you know what? It's human to human. You know, human to human. Like, you know, the idea of just being, park my car, we wouldn't like it the other way.
No.
We wouldn't like it the other way. So why would we like it with the woman doing it? So we can just think of each other with respect and regard.
Yeah.
And, you know, an
100%.
appreciation that thank you so much for parking my car.
Yeah.
Really appreciate the
Yes.
work you do and the passion you bring to your
Yeah.
day. Maybe the heart you bring to your day. It doesn't matter if it's male or female.
I
Yeah.
wonder, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish I was there with you.
Yeah.
Just make their day
That's
just
right.
that little bit happier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so curiosity comes
And
back
curiosity,
to
what's
all the
going on for
time.
her?
Yeah.
Because it's really easy for us to judge her.
Yeah.
What's going on for her?
Yeah.
What happened that she is acting this way? What's going on in her life that she is completely disconnected with her heart, completely disconnected with her gorgeous feminine energy, and she's coming into this situation with such control and fear. And what's underneath that?
Advertisements like that happen over
Yes.
and over again. It's like I say, I'd watched that ad a million times and never thought anything of it until you just said that. And I went, what message? But I always knew I didn't like the ad.
Yes.
I knew when it came out, it was uncomfortable, but I didn't know why. And it's like that subliminal message they're giving us.
Everywhere, like all over the place.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. You will start to notice it is everywhere.
Yeah.
So true.
And, you know, I'm the first to tell my daughter, earn your own money. Don't be dependent on anyone. I am. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think women should always be able to look after themselves and their children. God forbid if their husband dies or leaves them or whatever. A woman should never be helpless.
That's different.
But that's different. But using your career to put someone down or compare yourself to your spouse or make that a point of disagreement all the time is different. And, you know, a lot of Persian women become doctors, they become lawyers, and they never work a day in their lives. They choose to stay home, look after their kids. Their husbands are happier that way. They're happier that way. No judgment there. All I'm saying is the energy there should be of respect and exactly what Sandeep was saying. Just human to human, whether you're masculine or feminine, and just how would you like to be treated to treat your spouse? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just going to say that, you know, we started off by talking about the beginning of how, you know, what was femininity or feminine. And I kind of shared that it was maybe more external. So I just was thinking that where I'm at now is when I'm enjoying a cup of tea or something on the deck and I'm looking out and I'm not really being hard on myself that, are you being productive? Is this productive use of your time? But I'm just really stepping into that, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Allowing yourself this beautiful moment of just taking it in. I feel that is kind of the evolution for me. I feel it's gone from external to more internal, you know, just that that grace for yourself. So, yeah,
I love it.
full
I
circle.
love it. And it's so true. Just sometimes you're there and you're like, I am just so happy.
Yes.
It can't be anything.
It can't be
It's just the sun is shining, the birds are chirping.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
And to enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think that to me is the essence of femininity. To allow
Being
yourself
versus
to be
doing.
Yes.
The man is the
Being.
masculine, not the man. The masculine is do.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Being.
feminine is be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also like to share this presence of heart and being in your heart. At the mosque this Friday, the teacher was saying, you know, in Islam, you're supposed to pray 5 times a day, and it's a lot, you know, and he was saying you can do all of that, but none of that matters unless it's with the presence of heart. So the Prophet Muhammad said, you can pray, but none of it counts if you're here. And by that, he means like the moment I say, you know, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which is how we start, I go, okay, I hope the kids took out the garbage. I thought what is on the stove. Those people at work better be knowing that I'm watching them. And like every thought comes. And he was saying, if there is only thought of God and your heart and that what we call the source of life, which at 40 days as a fetus is the first point in your body that starts to say, I am. If your concentration is not on that, and if the doorbell rings and you go, who's that? And you're gone in your mind, even not in person, that prayer didn't count. So when he was talking about prayer, it was true meditation. It wasn't really all these actions that mean nothing, but to honor that heart, that point, that 90 seconds, 60 seconds that says, I honor you, I hear you. And there are people who can hear their heartbeat. Like when I heard that, I said, what? And there are men, women, they can literally hear their heart.
I can hear mine.
What, Mika? That's incredible.
When I have, like, if you plug your ears and you sit quietly, you'll start to hear it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start plugging my ears. I'd like to hear my heart.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's wonderful. We are alive.
Yes.
Indeed we are.
We are alive.
Indeed we are.
We are above the ground. We're not in it. We are here now to be, to experience, to feel, to give, to serve, to
And
shine.
make each other light up. Women to
Yes.
women, men to men, women to men. And ladies, if you want to have a love of your life, be the love of your life.
Yes.
Be kind. That's all guys want. They don't want all that extra hair and makeup. I mean, you guys look beautiful.
You just stimulated a thought. Oh, she's so nice. When a man hears that, what do they think right away? She's unattractive. She's overweight.
Oh, really?
We have been trained. Have you heard that before?
No.
Maybe this is just my school. This is the joke in a lot of the movies, the guys, movies with all the college stuff, dorms and whatever. It's always, oh, she's so nice, and they're like, oh, great, she's so nice, which usually means she's unattractive and she's overweight, because otherwise, why would she be nice? And this is a thread in so many hit movies, which I won't name because that's not fair. However, it is a real thing, and it's been around for a long, long time. I'm thinking about movies that I watched.
And
30,
to your
40 years
point,
ago.
that's why all the not so attractive by some standard girls get all the nicest, hottest guys, because they're willing to be kind. That's all it takes. They're will. I mean, I'm not saying gorgeous women are not kind, but I'm
Some of them
saying
aren't.
that.
They're not loving
I'm saying
themselves. They're
that.
in their masculine. They're
Yeah,
not.
and they're like, if you want to be with me, you got to do this, that, and the other. Just be kind with all the guys around you.
And don't hate us. That's not a blanket statement. That's
Don't
just
hate
another
us.
part of a conversation. I think we've gone way over time. This conversation is
I
so
don't know.
powerful.
I
It
don't
really
know how
is.
far
I love
we've
it.
gone.
Love it.
What's the time at?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, then let's do the goodbye.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's do the goodbye.
We love you. We're grateful to be here. And this, maybe we'll have to have a part 2 on
I
femininity.
think so. Like it.
Maybe
So,
we do.
yeah.
All right, ladies. Well, see you next time.
The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.